If you've never visited the Isle of Wight before, it can feel like a bit of an unknown. Sitting just off the south coast of England, this small island packs in over 50 miles of dramatic coastline, historic towns and beautiful countryside. In this guide we'll cover everything a first-time visitor needs to know: how to get here, where to stay, the places you shouldn't miss, and the best time to visit, as well as a few tips to help you make the most of your trip. So where exactly is the Isle of Wight? The island sits just off the south coast of England in the English Channel, around 5 to 12 miles from Hampshire. It's separated from the mainland by a stretch of water known as the Solent, one of the busiest shipping channels in the UK. Despite feeling like a proper getaway, it's actually very close to some of the country's biggest cities. London is around 90 miles away, depending on your route, and can be reached in as little as 2 hours by train and ferry. That balance is part of what makes the Isle of Wight so special. Close enough for a spontaneous trip, but far enough to make it feel like you've properly escaped. At around 23 miles long and 13 miles wide is England's largest island, with a landscape that ranges from sandy beaches and dramatic cliffs to rolling countryside and historic towns. You can drive around the entire perimeter of the island in around 3 hours, but most major points are within 30 to 45 minutes drive of each other. A full day allows for a leisurely drive around with plenty of stops to see the sights. One of the things that makes visiting the Isle of Wight feel like an adventure is the journey across the Solent. Regular ferry crossings connect the island and the mainland from Portsmouth and Lymington. The Wightlink FastCat runs between Portsmouth Harbour and Ryde Pier and takes just 22 minutes, making it one of the quickest and easiest ways to reach the island as a foot passenger. If you're travelling with your car, you can jump on a ferry to Fishbourne from Portsmouth and to Yarmouth from Lymington, meaning you can bring your car and explore at your own pace. The crossing itself is part of the experience, with views of historic ships, busy harbours and the changing colours of the Solent. So where should you stay? The Isle of Wight has accommodation to suit almost every type of trip. From seafront hotels and cosy guest houses to countryside cottages, campsites and glamping spots, there's plenty of choice whether you're visiting for a weekend or a longer stay. Many visitors choose to stay near the coast in places like Ryde, Shanklin, Sandown or Ventnor, while others prefer the quieter countryside villages scattered across the island. Make sure you check with your accommodation provider before you book travel, as many of them offer discounts on your ferry. Building your itinerary. For a relatively small island, the Isle of Wight has an incredible variety of places to explore. One of the most famous landmarks is the Needles, dramatic chalk stacks rising out of the sea at the western tip of the island. History lovers often head to Osborne House, Queen Victoria's former seaside residence, where you can explore royal apartments and gardens overlooking the Solent. Along the south coast, you'll find seaside towns like Ventnor, Shanklin and Sandown, each with their own character, beaches and coastal walks, as well as plenty of attractions to visit. And wherever you go on the island, the sea is never far away, with beaches, cliffs and coastal paths offering some of the most beautiful scenery in southern England. So when should you visit? The Isle of Wight is a destination you can enjoy throughout the year. Summer is the busiest season, with long beach days, sailing events and festivals. Spring is perfect for exploring the countryside as wildflowers and coastal paths come alive. Autumn brings quieter beaches, dramatic skies and some of the best walking conditions of the year. And even in the winter, the island has a peaceful charm, with cosy cafes, sea views and fresh coastal air. For first-time visitors, a few simple tips can make your trip even better. The island is small enough to explore easily by car, but there's also a good network of buses connecting the main towns and attractions. Take your time whilst exploring. Some of the best experiences come from wandering through small villages, discovering local cafes, or simply enjoying the coastline. And don't forget to pack for changeable weather. Like everywhere in the UK, even on sunny days, the weather can be temperamental and sea breezes can bring in a cooler edge. Comfortable walking shoes are also essential, especially if you plan on exploring some of the island's coastal paths and countryside trails. And if the sun comes out, which it often does, don't forget sunglasses and sun cream too. But don't worry too much. Although the island may feel remote, you're never too far away from a shop to pick up any essentials you may have forgotten. What makes the Isle of Wight so unique? The Isle of Wight has a few things you won't find anywhere else in England. It's one of the richest places in Europe for dinosaur fossils, with discoveries still being made along its cliffs today. It's also home to Cowes Week, one of the world's oldest and largest sailing regattas. Not to mention the variety of independent shops, cafes and restaurants you can find to explore. For many first-time visitors, the Isle of Wight quickly becomes somewhere they want to return to. It's an island where dramatic landscapes meet relaxed seaside towns, where history sits alongside everyday life, and where the journey across the Solent always feels like the start of something special. Whether you're visiting for a day, a weekend or longer, there's always more of the island waiting to be discovered. If this is your first visit, enjoy exploring and we'll see you on the island.